Don't be like me. I know this is something I should have had previously. I have just been putting it off. When we were filming the last video we made for the channel, you can check out here, checking out the mines up, in northern Utah, we had a problem that you can see here.
Yeah, part one again. There he is.
There's the tire.
That happened. Yeah, it's gonna make it bad.
So clearly you had a tire blowout. I had an inflator in the side-by-side, but it was just a little compressed air can inflator, and that actually got it to the point where it was pressing the bead to where it was holding air pressure. But we ended up having to go to my friend's 4Runner, grab his compressor, come back, pump up the tire. It was a big old fiasco. I should have just had a compressor on to begin with. One of the things that bugged me a bunch about the compressor is that it felt like it took forever to inflate the tire. It got to a point where it was holding, but it just took forever to seat the bead. Usually that's how it works. Usually those smaller compressors just don't have enough volume to seat a bead efficiently. In light of that, I didn't actually time how long it took to fill the tire up. So 1, I'm gonna go get a compressor that I'm gonna carry with me for the rest of the time. 2, we're gonna go test it and see how long it takes to take my tires from 0 PSI all the way up to operating PSI, which for me is 8 to 10 PSI. Let's go grab a compressor. First and foremost, it is friggin' hot today. I'm supposed to get up into the 110s, 120s or something like that this weekend. Second of all, stopped at the Harbor Freight, got our inflator. If you don't shop at Harbor Freight, that's fine. If you're like, oh, you gotta use the Milwaukee stuff. Trust me, I have Milwaukee stuff. Harbor Freight stuff works pretty good for a lot of the stuff you need to do. Anyways, let's take it home and I'll show you the other reason why I went with this one versus a different type of inflator. All right, we're back at home. So one of the reasons why I chose the inflator from Harbor Freight is basically it's cheap and Harbor Freight stuff works pretty good. I actually worked for years as a diesel mechanic. You'd be surprised at how much stuff we used in the shop that was Harbor Freight versus Snap-on versus Cornwell versus, big name stuff. Harbor Freight makes some stuff that's pretty good. So cheap, 50 bucks for this. I think Milwaukee's is like 200, Ryobi's like 70, stuff like that. But the other thing that I really like about this model in particular is this little guy, right here. You can plug that into your 12-volt source in anything you have, and then you aren't dependent on whatever, brand of inflator you have. You can power this off of the Bauer batteries. As you can see right here, there's a port for one, but it's not required. So you are still given some autonomy there, and it doesn't require you to use a battery system that you might not have. Okay, let's let the air out of the tire, and let's then see how long it takes one of these bad boys to fill one tire. Now keep in mind, we're not seating the bead. Seating the bead takes somewhere probably around 25 to 30 PSI on these 32-inch tires. Because I'm not willing to knock the bead off again just to prove it, is just see what it takes to take this from 0 to 10 PSI. This was not the tire that blew out. I've actually since rotated the tires, so that tire is actually up on the front passenger side now, but it's okay, same issue. All right, that looks like there's no pressure in it to me. Okay, so if you run into this on the trail, this isn't actually going to be the hardest part. The hardest part is going to be getting the tire seated back on the bead. You can look up some other stuff on how to do that. There's some tricks. You can use a ratchet strap. You can use fire and an aerosol of some sort, starting fluid or whatever. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is that you should have a compressor. Don't be like me. Get a compressor. Don't think, oh, I can wait, it'll be fine, blah, blah, whatever. Then you'll end up needing it. Just get a compressor. So now this is all the way down. We are gonna see how long it takes to re-inflate this tire. Some of this is probably old hat for a lot of people, but there are definitely some new people that have gotten into the off-road and side-by-side world after COVID or just because they wanted to or whatever. But Anyways, if this is old hat to you, that's fine. Carry on with your life. If this is helpful for you, like and subscribe to this channel. We'll bring more of this type of stuff to you. Anyways. Nope. All right, so it looked like it was going over pressure, but it really didn't end up going over pressure. It went to about 10.5 and literally took just over 5 minutes. Let's check and see if that's an accurate pressure though, because who knows, maybe it's not. I have a gauge here, let's grab it. Let's check it out. Well, it's consistent. I don't know if it's accurate, but at least it's consistent. All right, if you've been off-roading a lot, then obviously you know that this is something you should have. I knew it was something I should have, I just didn't. If you haven't been off-roading a lot, go get some sort of inflator. It'll save you on the trail. The other thing that I think you should probably have, it didn't help in this case because we had a tire come off the bead. We didn't have a puncture, but a plug kit is super helpful. I actually use this plug kit on my trailer tires more than I have on my side-by-side tires, which is a thing. I don't know. Also get a spare if you can afford it. I don't know. There's lots of stuff you can do to help yourself get back safe. I'm not an expert on it. Clearly, that's one of the things that for sure you probably need to have. Don't be like me. Just get the inflator right off the bat. Dude, that's 50 bucks. And it did a whole tire up to 10 PSI in 5 minutes. That's 20 minutes for all 4 tires, if you don't assume that you have to shut down for duty cycle or something like that. And that's pretty dang good. So anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.